Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. Now, on our interview segment here on Lunchtime News this afternoon, we're joined by John Borogo, who's the Commissioner for Refugee Affairs at the State Department for Immigration and Citizen Services. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Borogo. Welcome to Lunchtime News. Thank you. All right, now to kick us off, perhaps, can markets foster refugee reliance? This question comes right ahead of World Refugee Day that will be commemorated on June 20th, being Thursday. And welcome again. And perhaps to kick us off, can markets foster refugee self-reliance?
Yes, good to have me here this afternoon. Kenya has hosted refugees for over 3 decades. And initially it was a humanitarian emergency response, and that has outlived 2-3 decades, and therefore what we are looking at is sustainability, whether the refugees can be able to transform their livelihoods into sustainable livelihoods, where they are self-reliant. Currently, the World Food Program, UNHCR, other partners and the government have been supporting the refugees, mainly in Kakuma and Dadaab. And we have 770,000 registered refugees so far, meaning that that number is supposed to be catered for in terms of education, water, health, and other services. We are currently giving access to the refugees in education and health. They participate in our education system, and you have seen refugee children performing very well. We also give them access, maternal health and all, to the ones who are based in the camp. We have about 100,003 who are based in urban areas. That is Nairobi mainly, Mombasa, Nakuru, Eldoret and Nakuru. And self-reliance move is to be able to transform the refugees from relying on a humanitarian approach. And that comes with the government shift of policy from encampment to integrated settlements. Meaning that we are going to transform Kakuma and Dadaab refugee camps into integrated settlements that integrate and bring together the host communities as well as the refugees. They will be sharing same facilities of education, same facilities of health, and currently the 2 refugee hosting areas, that is Kakuma and Dadaab, are already chartered municipalities. They have functional boards and the infrastructure development, that is the market, the social services, improved health access, all those will be enjoyed by the refugee and the host. Over and above that, we are also affording them an opportunity to enhance their skills. Through TVET, we are targeting over 10,000 refugee youth through the program called Nyota. That is a national youth opportunity for training and advancement, where they will train for manual employment, plumbing, artisanry, masonry, and all, so that then the employability chances are enhanced. We are also issuing them with Permit M, where those who are skilled, doctors, teachers, and other skilled professions are able to join the Kenyan market competitively, just like other Kenyans, but under the category of Permit M that is given to refugees. So the move towards transforming and taking the refugees from reliance on humanitarian to development-oriented, self-reliance, and transformation of their livelihood is a thing that the government has committed. We went to Geneva in December, and during the GRF, the Global Refugee Forum, second, we did give 7 pledges, and Shirika Plan is one of the 7 pledges. And Shirika Plan is the progressive transformation of the livelihoods of refugees to self-reliance through integrated settlements, and more importantly, access of refugee to services of government.
All right. Now, you've mentioned the impact on the refugees in trying to make them more self-reliant. Perhaps if you could share some of the challenges that have arisen in implementing market-based strategies for refugees in Kenya.
Essentially, obviously, the government provides for its citizenry. And when we have a number of an influx of refugees, which we have hosted since independence, it means, and it has increased progressively. We continue to have influxes up to date of refugees because of the regional instabilities and conflicts, and other displacements lately being environmental displacement of flooding and extreme drought, maybe in Somalia, but mainly it is the conflicts within the region. And that comes with the challenge of insecurity. It also comes with the burden of hosting them. Where are they going to be housed? And that is where we have the two camps. We have to negotiate with the community to host them, and therefore they donate land. So, and above that, then we also make those camps habitable in terms of water provision, hygiene, latrines, toilets, schools. We have 49 camp-based schools, and therefore they serve the refugees. We have 17 health facilities that are set to be upgraded to level 3, level 4. We have an ongoing construction of Dadaab level 4 hospital that will be for the host and refugee. The challenge of hosting refugee is further compounded by the fact that they have no wood fuel. And therefore, they resort to cutting the trees and shrubs that are in the asal areas. And therefore, environmental degradation remains a major challenge in this area. And now we are working towards introduction of renewable energy solutions, where we would have renewable energy mix of solar, as well as economic GECO that are environmental friendly, and more importantly also, how do we solarize most of the services of water, of lighting, and for the two municipalities that are now gazetted, how best can they be able to utilize renewable energy strategies so that then we do not continue perpetuating the challenge of environmental destruction.
Right, so we've been able to shed light on some of the challenges. Perhaps when it comes to host communities, if we could be able to highlight how do host community members benefit from the market-based solutions designed for refugees?
Maybe I start by saying that land is a finite resource, and the communities have been donating that land for the longest that we have hosted the refugees. Initially, there were 13 small camps, Utange, Jomvu, Thika, Garissa, and Kakuma, and then they were amalgamated in 1990s, late 1990s, to Dadaab and Kakuma. The major challenge of the host community is the access of the services. There has been a perception, which we are moving to correct, that the refugees are better catered for in terms of access to services provided by UNHCR and also WFP in terms of the food rations. You know, in Asar areas, there's scarcity of food, scarcity of water, and therefore the competition versus what we have already donated. We have donated land as a host community, but they find that they are not able to access now the services of even health that the refugees were enjoying. And that has been the tension. So to ease that tension, that is why we are having integrated settlements, the coexistence. And we have already a model in place, that is a Kalobea settlement socio-economic development program that has been there for the last 5 years, integrating the host community, Turkana, as well as other nationalities, Congolese, Rwandese, Ugandans, and others. And we have 29 nationalities that we are hosting as refugees in the country. Meaning, therefore, that when the hosts are able to integrate interact with them in the market center, interact with them in the education forums, as well as enjoying the same health facility. Where they go for the same maternity, go for the same prenatal, postnatal, and also other services. It means that we will ease this tension, because that has been the challenge. How do we also maximize on the available land that has been donated by the host community? It is by making affordable housing, by ensuring that there is spatial planning for the municipalities, and there is proper and structured progressive infrastructure development, open for enjoyment and use by the host community as well as the refugees.
All right. Now, what lessons can other countries learn from Kenya's approach to integrating market-based solutions for refugees?
In the West, where they are hosting refugees, the refugees are given access, automatic access. Once they are registered, they are given that market access. And they are given support systems where they have created facilities. And in that way, they are also given opportunity to give access to the markets. In our case, we are benchmarking that. How are we doing that? By ensuring that financial institutions, for example, Equity, KCB, and others that are coming in. We have also private sector-based microfinances like Ikomoko, which has trained 12,000 refugees and host community together and accessing credit services for their entrepreneurship, for their productivity in the market. And therefore, their access is assured by the training, the access to market, and also the soft loans that is able now to support their micro businesses. So we are benchmarking all the best practices that are there, and also looking at the uniqueness of the Kenyan situation that obtains or in hosting the refugees.
All right. Now, in your view, how should the concept of self-reliance be reassessed in the context of refugee support?
Already, I would say that we have adjusted ourselves. The refugees adjusted themselves first by their thirst for education. Of course, being human, they are also requiring services like water, services like health, and which they have been accessing. They have also been socializing and intermarrying. We have refugees who have intermarried with Kenyans, and Kenyans who have also married the refugees. Those children that are begotten through that kind of relationship, they are deemed to be Kenyan citizens and they are registered as such. In the self-reliance drive, the refugees have accepted the situation that it is not going to be just short time that we go back to our country. The situations have not improved, conducive enough for them to self-repatriate with support of UNHCR and government to their countries. So what is self-reliance therefore is for them to make good, integrate within the Kenyan society. And we have worked together. First and foremost, there is recognition for prior learning policy, which the government now allows the accreditation of the prior learned skills that the refugees came with, but did not have the documentation. And through Kenya National Quality Assurance Authority, and the State Department for Education, those skills are being recognized. That therefore enhancing their employability, self-employment or being employed within the service industries, and therefore changing their livelihoods. But more importantly, there is a need for capacity building, progressive capacity building. The change of mind from reliance on humanitarian to I have to push myself. That I have to make my living. I have to transform my livelihood using my own efforts. And what is the conducive environment in terms of policies, in terms of framework that the government has put in place? We have a very robust Refugee Act number 10 of 2021 that allows them freedom, entrepreneurship, association in terms of chamas. They can come together. They can also form companies. And we have also been engaging the Kenya Revenue Authority to afford them the Kenya Revenue Authority PIN so that they can open their own companies, enterprises, and run businesses. So the self-drive in terms of self-reliance is a progressive. First is to accept by the refugee that we must be able to transform our livelihoods. What opportunities are there? The government creates the conducive environment, and the partners come together to be able to support them in affording credit, as well as ensuring that there is opportunity for them to invest and also to take their products to the market.
All right. Now, what best practices can be identified from the KICDP initiative that could be applied in other refugee hosting regions to enhance self-reliance?
That comes with a lot of capacity building. First, for them to engage in KICDP, it means that they have to be made aware. What is this program about? And this challenge fund has really helped them be able to build their skills and also identify the niche that they would want to pursue, the areas that they feel they have the strength. And that way then they are able to prepare their proposals or give their proposals to the fund to be able to support their upcoming enterprises. And that way they have been able to generate a lot of resources. By the way, may I point out that up to now, Inkomoko and Equity have been able to give a grant of up to $50 million to a refugee. And they are running businesses, micro businesses. The supplier of motorcycles in Kakuma is a refugee, and other businesses. We also have an environmental friendly solar power done by Okapi, and they are beneficiaries of KICDP. This can be replicated in Garissa. It can also be replicated in urban areas for those who are already living in the urban areas, and they can upscale their small businesses to micro businesses that are able to now ensure that they change their livelihoods and transform their lives and make a contribution to the country, be part of the Kenyan society.
Now, how can policymakers ensure that market-based solutions do not compromise the humanitarian needs of refugees?
Whenever policies are being made, for example, what we are now developing, a Shirika plan, there is a lot of consultation. There is a lot of public awareness. And we start by the local leadership. There is a good working and cordial relationship between the national government and the county government of Turkana, as well as Garissa, and also Nairobi. And currently, the county governments of Nairobi, Garissa, as well as Turkana, have integrated the refugee matters in their county integrated development plans, the 5-year CIDPs. Meaning, therefore, when they are developing their CIDP, their annual development plans, annually they now extract what they need to do for, and they also sensitize the county assemblies. So it is a sensitization, awareness creation of the community, the host, the leadership together, and we move forward.
Mm-hmm. Now, in your final remarks, perhaps what measures are being taken to ensure the long-term sustainability of the market-based solutions implemented under this initiative?
Yes, because the pillars of Shirika Plan is system building. System building means that we are building systems to support the market orientation. We are building systems to support the structures that will be able to support the entrepreneurship of the refugee and the host. We are also looking at the value addition. What can you do in the productivity of the refugees? What value add can we do? In the Asar areas, the livestock is one of the areas. They may not venture there, but there is also the private sector that is coming in, that is coming up with strategies and investments that are attuned to the environments that the refugees are staying, and the policies that now can be able to cushion them with access to services. With the municipalities now coming up, it means that we are going to develop the infrastructure for markets, therefore providing a platform for trade. And that opportunity is for the refugee as well as the host. And more importantly, the policies to cushion, progressively be able to be market friendly. The integration of the technology and leveraging, marketing our products and the refugee services to the world through internet. So all these are preparations and strategies that will support Shirika plan holistically. The private sector, in no mean opportunities, will be able to progressively rope in the entrepreneurship industrial drive of the refugees. For example, as I mentioned, there is Okapi that is already connected over 200 homes with renewable energy from solar. If they are supported, they will again light the whole of Kakuma, meaning therefore the potential is there, the capacity is there. Can we upscale it? Can we support them and be able to make the legal framework friendly to them and also friendly to the environment that they find themselves in, so that we integrate them into the Kenyan society?
Well, thank you so much. That was John Borogo, the Commissioner for Refugee Affairs at the State Department for Immigration and Citizen Services. He joins us to deliberate the issue ahead of the World Refugee Day that will be commemorated June 20th, being Thursday. Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.